So in today's web dev tip, we're going to take a look at a JavaScript problem where we've got two arrays and we need to get a list of the distinct items in both arrays. So let's take a look at the example we've got on page here now. We've got array 1 and array 2 with a list of numbers, and what we want to do is write this function here, get distinct items, that goes through the arrays and returns a new array with only the numbers that exist in both array 1 and array 2. So for example, it should be 1, 3, 2 and 5. That should be in the new array in this example. And note, it doesn't matter what order the numbers are coming in, so 2 is at the end of array 2, but it's at the start of array 1. So we need a way to look through both arrays that's not based on their position and determine whether or not we should return that number in the new array that the function is going to return. So we're going to make the assumption that we're going to look through array 1 first and check whether that item is in array 2 for this example, just for simplicity. And the first thought you might have is to use a filter function on the array. So let's run array 1, the argument that's passed into the function, .filter. And for each of those items in the array, we can just check whether that's in the array 2 that's been passed in. So array2.includes the item. And if we run that, you see in the output, that does give us some mileage. It does give us the right numbers, but unfortunately it doesn't deal with duplicates. So this approach doesn't really achieve what is intended by the function. Of course, you can use a set object and use the spread operator into a new array to get rid of those duplicates. So that's the common way to remove duplicates from an array. So that's fine for our example. The other approach would be to use a for loop to loop through the array and store the result of any matches in an accumulator. So let's just take a quick look at how that might look. So first of all, let's get an accumulator variable set up, which is just going to be an empty array. And that's what we're going to return from the function here. And as I said, we're just going to assume that we're looping through array 1. So we can use a for loop, either with an index. Here I'm just going to use a for of loop, just so we get each item stored in the variable item here. So item of array 1. And here we say if array 2 includes the item, as we did before, then we can just use the accumulator.push function to push that item onto the array that's returned. And as you see, we've still got the same problem as we did before. So we could again use the set object to get rid of any duplicates. But the advantage we've got here is we've got this accumulator variable, so we can actually check if we've already pushed the specific item onto the accumulator already. So we could say something like if array 2 has the item, and if the accumulator does not include the item, then we'll push it onto the array. So by doing that extra check, you can see we've removed the duplicates. So if for whatever reason you were trying to achieve something like this and you weren't permitted to use a new set object, then having access to the accumulator variable directly here to check whether the item has already been pushed onto it is a useful solution. So there you go, that's just a simple function that just gets the items that are distinct in two arrays. Make sure you stay tuned for more web dev tips.